I was born Wills, Wills, and then when I married, I became Merton. So I am Joan Merton, and I was born in 1929. My dad he was a chef in his younger years, and then he went to war in 1939 when the war started. My mom was what you would call a family person. There was only us two girls. I was 4 years older than my sister. My sister loved to cook, so she did the cooking and I did the cleaning, so it worked out great.
Yeah.
You never kept any money, only enough to go back and forth to work.
Yes.
Oh, well, the money was tight with everybody because it was just, wartime and all that kind of stuff. With my dad being in the service, he was gone. My grandmother, I never knew my grandfather because she came over from England on a boat with my aunt. And then we lived together until my grandmother died. So I went to live with my aunt. After, as I said, I went to work with where my aunt worked, and that's where I met my husband. He lived in the East End, so I didn't want to live in the West End with my mom, to be together. So I went and lived with my aunt in the East End on Gledhill. Mm-hmm. It wasn't easy at all. Nobody had any money in those days, so that's why I had to quit school and went out to work at 16. I was working in a factory in a sewing machine, sewing clothes.
How did you and your husband meet?
My aunt was working in the bindery. I was there for the summer, working there for the summer, and all of a sudden this young man came upstairs. I guess they told him that there's a young girl upstairs, so he had to come up and see what was going on. And that's how we met. He came walking in. And it was love at first sight as far as I was concerned. My heart skipped a beat and that was it. As I said, I retired at 60, and then I looked after Jamie in that. And then when he was 7, that means I would have been 67. He said, "Grandma, you don't have to take me to school anymore. I can walk on my own with my friends and all that." And I thought, well, what the heck am I going to do with myself? So I had another friend that used to go line dancing around the corner at the church basement. And she said to me, "Look," she says, I go to someplace else. She says, "I go over to the Legion at night." And that's how it happened. I went there, and as I said, I was there for 20 years. Well, I don't know, I was a good line dancer because I used to be in the front row and everybody followed me. So, my teacher would walk, he would stand at the top and do something, then he'd go to the sides and all that kind of stuff, where I was still in the middle at the front, and they all used to follow me. I know I met one woman after I'd retired from going there, and she said, "Oh, it hadn't been the same without you." She says, "Everybody else tried to take your spot, but they never did this." I said, "It's nice to know that I missed anyway." Let's see, my husband was, as I said, he started the hockey school, years ago, and we used to spend all our time at hockey. When he was doing hockey, then she started skating. So, she ended up skating till, what, you were 12 or 13? Yeah, mm-hmm. Oh, I spent all my time at the arena, all the time. If it wasn't early mornings with Larry for hockey, then it was her for figure skating in the afternoon. Yeah, mm-hmm. So that was my whole life pretty well. Yeah, I used to sew a lot of costumes. Well, that one you can look at the picture.
Wow.
That was one of them. Mm-hmm. Larry, my son, let's see, he was working one night, and then they all used to, after work, they used to all go over to Scarborough Arena and skate and all that, and he came off the ice and dropped dead of a heart attack at 28. Mm-hmm. Yes, he left a year-old son. Yeah, he left, and I'm still very close with my daughter-in-law too. This one? Yeah. Well, she's smart. She has more business sense than I ever would have had, And she's a great daughter. I love her very much. We've lived together, except for 10 years that I lived in Thorncliffe. We've lived together all our lives.
Was it nice, like, taking care of a young child again?
Oh, yes, it was lovely. Oh, yeah, especially going to school, because I'd walk them back and forth to school every day. So I'd take them they would go to work, because we lived in the same house, eh? And then I would take him to school in the morning, come back, go and get him at lunchtime, come back. We'd have lunch, then I'd take him back to school again and go through the same thing all the time, and it worked out great. He is the love of my life, I will say that too, yeah. Jack and little Max, he just turned over a year. He's just over a year now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're two good little kids, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Trevor I would call him a workaholic. He is the older one, and he works all the time. He works for Loblaws, and he travels all over Ontario, and but he's great. He's great. Him and his girlfriend Amy, they live down here on Main Street. And then my younger grandson, the one that I retired to look after, they just live a few blocks over here,
His name?
Oh, Jamie. And he's married, and they have 2 kids. Some people are more talkative than others. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, like me. I would go out east to Corals, who lived in Nova Scotia. I would go out there I used to get 5 weeks holidays, or 6 weeks. So I used to go out east in the summertime for 2 weeks. And then I used to go down February down to St. Kitts for 3 weeks. And that's how I spent my holidays all the time. So with the 2 girls. I used to travel a lot. Years ago, I went over to England. I did England, Ireland, and Scotland. I did over there. Oh, down the Caribbean. Yeah. I did Europe before that, but going down to the Caribbean was great. Yeah, used to love it there. My girlfriend lived down there, so I used to go down there, and it was just like going down to family, eh? I knew everybody down there. Yeah. I went to Europe, and I loved Austria. Austria was gorgeous. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Italy for the food. Italy for the food, definitely.
What was the best day of your life that you remember?
I don't know. I guess getting married. That was good too. At the time, yeah. No, when it lasted, it was good. It was good for so good many years. No, when the kids were born, yeah, they're all good. Those type of things are always good. They're always the best time. But yeah, in the choir, and I used to do solos as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Gee, these bring back a lot of memories. Things that you forget, over the years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing's nicer than having a newborn in your arms when you're a mother. That's really great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All I know is that everything was well, and they were both very healthy, and it was lovely. Yeah. Mm-hmm. My cat. Oh my gosh. That's my Lola. And that song, What Lola Wants, Lola Gets? This one here is Lola Wants and She Gets. She spends her whole time on my lap from the time she sleeps beside me in my bed at night on my pillow beside me. We get up and she meows until I've got my breakfast out. And then I sit down and she can't wait to get on my lap. And then we spend the afternoon watching TV. I had a rat, yes. It was a little white rat with a pink tail. Mm-hmm. It was cute. They're nice. They're cute little things, Mm-hmm. But all animals are cute as far as the only thing I can't stand is snakes. The next 100 years. Well, I'd hope there'd be a lot more peace in the world. That's for one thing for sure. It would be nice if everybody could get along. You got to be positive. You know, you've got to think ahead and I try and look on the upside rather than the downside. Yeah. I mean, you've got to think about all the good sides too. So I would rather think of all the good things that have happened rather than the bad things that have happened. I think I'm proud that I've raised a couple of nice kids. Take each day as it comes and enjoy every bit of it that you can have. Very important. That's it. Enjoy each day as it comes because you don't know what the next day is going to bring.